The Oyon Dam in Abeokuta plays an important role in the lives of communities along the Ogun River bank. However, whenever water is released, these communities are usually in trouble because of the flood that gets to them. Now, when it happened in 2014, one community badly affected was Isheri GRA. Now, it has happened again, and residents are beginning to pull out. Now, while the case of Apapa Wharf, Tinkan Island Road still begs for attention, that of Warri Refinery continues to haunt road users, and now they plead for government intervention before a case of total collapse is recorded. Douglas Street in Owerri has suddenly become as dirty as its popularity, and eyewitness photos and videos tell a story which requires the quick intervention of the state government. These and more on Eyewitness Report. I'm Chris Elems. Our first story is inspired by a photo sent in by Ola as residents of Isheri North and other communities along the Ogun River bank are tired of intermittent overflow of the river, which has become a threat to lives and property. Our visit reveals the level of frustration they have to put up with. Stay with us. 2014. It wasn't a pleasant experience for residents of Isheri Estate when the resultant flood from the alleged opening of the Oyon Dam ravaged the community. The entire Isheri North Estate was affected as residents fled for fear of getting drowned. Homes could only be accessed by boat, and in certain other areas, sports utility vehicles. Residents pleaded for help as they were threatened.
The challenges are so alarming that people will have to run away from their houses, businesses closed, and lives dislocated, schools shut. Schools within this area, during period of crisis like this, they get shut, and sometimes they just send the pupils home. The government should, come and, solve this problem by creating a gated dam on Ogun River.
2 years after, that same scenario plays out again. These are paved roads turned into a pool of water, and to go across, you need the services of a boatman.
We can't even walk past 7 days now. The water has been delaying us because we don't know where the water came from. So the only help that we can just tell the federal government that they should assist us. As you can see, if you reach the middle of that water, in fact, the water will reach this place, half of your body. So there is no way.
Within the estate, no street is spared. The volume of water appears to be rising daily, and everyone, including the chickens, seek higher ground. Mr. Odutola, one of the residents, has moved his family out already and has only returned to pick a few more of his belongings.
My family have been displaced. You can see my baggages in the car because look at where there is the situation is deteriorating day by day. Property is a minor thing, but our lives is more. So we are living because we feel threatened. So we're now asking government, both the federal government and the state government, Lagos state government, to come in and look at the situation of things here and come up with a solution. Because I understand it has been going on for years before we move into this estate. So if it has been this kind of reoccurrence, which they say is caused by a dam at in Osun State, Onyon Dam or so, but anytime the water is released from there, they suffer this kind of tragedy. I think government would need to be more responsible to find a lasting solution to this problem before people will washed away by this.
Over 300 houses are affected according to the estate management.
We've discovered this for the past 2 weeks now that the flooding has taken over the estate. It's quite unfortunate that we did not see the response or did not hear from government to come to our aid since we've been clamoring for assistance. We are calling government to come to our aid to rescue us because the life and property of the residents here are at stake.
It's an emergency situation that should be arrested as soon as possible, as more families are being affected.
This flooding that you can see behind me, if it continues for another couple of days, I'm afraid houses worth heaven knows how many millions or billions will just be overtaken by the water. People have already started moving out of the estate for the last couple of weeks out of fear of what might happen. So what we are hoping and begging the government to do is come to our rescue, because it's already an emergency situation. You know, we haven't seen any emergency, because if this is not an emergency, what is? Because the water, as you can see, is over like 4 or 5 feet deep. Those kids are not going to school anymore because the buses are not able to come in to pick them to school, and we're just calling on the government to come to our rescue before it gets worse than this.
Further down the riverbank is Maidon Orile community in Mile 12 area of Lagos State. For days and weeks now, the residents are no longer at ease due to the unwanted guest that has taken up their space. Apparently, this is not the first time the community would experience flood, but this time the residents say it's unbearable. Some of them have even fled their homes for respite, and those who cannot make an alternative provision are salvaging the flood, albeit with difficulty.
We are not enjoying it at all. As you can see Pako everywhere. It's lit to every house in this place. So it's not nice here. It's not nice with children early in the morning. We have to back them. Even adults, you see, the ones that have grown, they have to carry them at their back, passing here. And it's not okay with us. The water is too much. It's reaching our waist. It's reaching where we are even drawing our trousers out. We can't even wear trousers again to pass here because of water.
To get home after a hard day's work, you must make use of the wooden roads in the water, as most houses are virtually submerged. The residents of Maidon really think the government should have known better now how to deal with this problem.
Please, we are fed up. Because this water is tormenting us seriously, and we do pay land use charge. Instead of government compensating us, this is what we see every three years. Before we wake up now, this thing will climb to this step here now. So please help us, whether beg or plead with them, or I don't know how to put it. They should know what to do to the dams. Before the dam overflows, they know what to do so that it won't overflow to the extent of opening it and releasing the water all over. One boy died last week in Okobi there, 14-year-old boy living with his grandmother. So please, we don't want it anymore. We are fed up.
In some of the areas, without the help of a canoe, many cannot even leave their homes. All the residents are asking for is some attention from the state government.
this condition is really critical, and even a kid, newborn kids, I'm very sure if he can hear all this, he's not going to be happy about it. So the government just have to do something about this. So people here, different. My mom's side is even better. Some people motor has entered into their house, they can't stay in their house anymore. They just packed out. This is uncalled for. So we believe this government is a government of change, as they say. So we need the government to do something about it. It's just like this place is neglected. So it's human beings that are staying here, people working with the government and working in banks and all those places. So they are paying taxes. The land use charges is being paid here too. So I believe something should be done about this. It's uncalled for.
All along the Ogun River bank, communities have been displaced, and the State Commissioner for Environment thinks the government did enough to warn the communities of the impending danger.
Ogun State happens to be one of those states that is expected to experience river flooding, and that is what we are experiencing right now. The second report has to do with Niger Basin Authority. This is they are in charge of all the rivers starting from the northern side of the country down south here. They have also written in to warn that river flooding is being expected, and the magnitude of the flooding can be compared, if not surpass, that of 2012. If you would remember, 2012 was a year where a lot of states, that borders the river, Niger, Benue, coming down south here, experienced a lot of flooding. So we had expected this. The monitoring agencies, they are forewarned, and we have also passed down the message to the people all across the states. In fact, I would say that we sufficiently, did warn the people that this is expected. And now that it's there, it's not something that took us unaware. We were prepared for this. A lot of people were asked to relocate to safeguard loss of life, to relocate from those communities that borders the river, and then to safer grounds until the flooding will subside.
As regards what to do to ameliorate the current challenge posed by the flooding, he feels it's a natural occurrence that must take its course.
The river course is there. It's more of people building close to the river. They are supposed to observe some particular meters of setback. Those people didn't do that. We also see that some of these houses have been marked for demolition. They've been asked to, leave those communities that you will see for yourself, people almost building on the river. So that is why they are affected this much. And they too, they know, they've been warned, and it's just unfortunate that that happened. There's nothing that can be done. It's not channelization, it's the volume of water that was released is one too many at a particular point in time. So there's nothing anybody can do about that. It's just for us to warn the people to expect it. That has been done. When it happens, they are supposed to move to safer grounds, so to forestall loss of lives. That is what I believe should have been done before now. But our people are in the habit of saying, it's not going to get worse than this, and then before you know it, they are trapped, and then it becomes an emergency situation.
It's high time this recurring event is brought under control, which is a possibility. The earlier solution is found, the better it will be, so as to spare residents the ritual and agony of having to lose hard-earned resources annually.